So what is wrong with this picture? You probably heard the government numbers that came out on Friday on employment. The unemployment rate unexpectedly dropped to 6.7%. From that, you'd figure there'd be a ton of new jobs created. But no, it didn't happen. Economists were predicting 200,000 new jobs, but in fact, it was only 74,000. That's the fewest in almost 3 years. That's kind of crazy, don't you think? Well, to make sense of it all, we have Brent Schutte. He's senior investment strategist with BMO Global Asset Management. This has got to be a fluke.
I think so. And I've talked about huge revisions and how that works with this number being the initial, not guess, but initial estimate, and that ultimately it usually gets revised 2 or 3 times. Let me make a point and step back on the bigger, broader picture to kind of bring that out a touch. For 2013, we had 2,186,000 jobs added in the economy. ADP, which is a private forecasting firm, came out on Wednesday, and they actually estimated that the payroll report today would be 238,000. So the 74 is 164,000 difference. That is the largest difference that you've had, I believe, in 2 or 3 years. The average difference this year was 18,000 for those 2 reports, so it's tiny. If you look at ADP for the full year, it was 2,154,000 jobs added.
So we're clearly going to see some kind of a significant revision. In fact, the actual numbers that we get next month for January could be much higher.
I think so. I've talked about ISM on this show over and over and over again.
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing and non-manufacturing. If you look at those 2 employment indexes in the month of December, they both were above 55. In fact, if you combine them, they were 56. In past periods, when you've had that type of optimism in the manufacturing and non-manufacturing sector, you've had 240,000 average job growth. And so it's not consistent, it's not the same all the time, but over a similar period of time, over an average, it's about 240. So it should be revised higher.
Let's assume you're right, we'll see some changes. What about growth for 2014? Any sense about that?
Yeah, I actually think growth is getting better. I've been pretty optimistic for the last 6-7 months on this show, and we've seen some better growth numbers. Everything that I'm looking at right now continues to point to the fact that you could get growth in 3% numbers in 2013. And if you actually had things go right, you could probably get to 4%, which I don't think anybody is saying.
You said 2013, you're saying?
I'm sorry, 2014. I'm stuck in last year still. So I actually think the economy is getting better. Now that there could be an exogenous shock that happens, but right now I don't see that on the horizon.
All right. Brent Schutte, thanks so much.
Thank you.